the last time you were in the same room with this person, something happened that neither of you has been able to fully shake. Maybe it was a look that lasted a second too long. Maybe it was a conversation that started ordinary and ended somewhere neither of you expected. Maybe it was something smaller than that, a moment of proximity, an accidental touch, a beat of silence that said more than everything around it. Whatever it was, it landed on both sides. And since that moment, this person has not been the same. And I know there is a part of you that keeps coming back to the age difference, that picks it up, turns it over, and uses it as the reason to talk yourself out of what you are sensing. The gap feels significant. It feels like something other people would notice, would comment on, would have opinions about. And so you have been holding this feeling at arm's length, telling yourself it is complicated or unlikely or not something you are allowed to fully want. But what Spirit is showing me today has nothing to do with what is allowed. It has everything to do with what is real. And what is real is this: since that last meeting, this person has been consumed by thoughts of you in a way they did not see coming and cannot make stop. Stay with me, because every word of this is coming through for you specifically. Welcome to Manifest God's Voice. I am Cassia. I want you to set everything else aside for the next few minutes and just receive this, because this message came through with a kind of intensity and tenderness at the same time that I do not always feel. And I think it is because the situation it belongs to carries both of those things. There is something powerful here, and there is something gentle here, and you deserve to understand both. Let's go. Let me start with what is happening inside this person right now, because I think once you understand the interior of what they have been carrying since the last time you saw each other, the age difference is going to stop feeling like the most important thing in the room. This person did not expect you. That is the first thing. Whatever they knew about you before that meeting, whatever impression they had, whatever category they had filed you under in their mind, what happened when they were actually in your presence did not match any of it. You exceeded something. You reached past the version of you they thought they knew and showed them something that surprised them. And people who are used to rarely being surprised by anything, that surprise stays with them. It has stayed with them. Since that meeting, there has been a pattern in their days that they are both aware of and slightly unsettled by. You surface without warning, without invitation, without them doing anything to bring you there. You simply appear in a quiet moment in the middle of something that has nothing to do with you at night when everything else goes still and there is nothing left to distract from what is actually on their mind. And what is on their mind is you. The specific things you said, the way you said them, something about your energy that they keep returning to because they have not yet been able to fully absorb it. They are processing you slowly, carefully. In the private space, they do not show anyone. They are turning the experience of you over and over and finding something new every time they do. This is what obsession looks like when it belongs to someone who is measured, someone who does not wear their feelings on the outside, someone who has learned over time to keep the interior of their experience very separate from what they present to the world. It does not announce itself. does not perform. It lives quietly underneath everything. And it is very, very loud. Now I want to address the age difference directly because it is real and I am not going to pretend it is not there. The gap exists. Both of you are aware of it, and it creates a specific kind of friction, not between you, but inside each of you separately. For this person, the age difference creates a question about what they are allowed to feel, about whether the feeling is appropriate, whether pursuing it would be fair, whether the power dynamic between you, whatever form that takes, makes this something they should contain rather than act on. They have a strong sense of responsibility, and that sense of responsibility is currently in direct conflict with what they actually feel, because what they actually feel does not care about the age difference at all. The feeling does not carry that weight. It is clean and certain and stubbornly present, regardless of what their more cautious mind says about it. And for you, the age difference creates a question about whether you are reading this correctly. Whether someone in their position, with their experience, with the life they have already built and lived, could genuinely feel what you think you are sensing from them, whether the gap makes you somehow less relevant to them, less real, less someone they could actually see themselves choosing. I want to answer that question directly. The gap does not make you less. It does not make you a phase or a curiosity or something they will grow out of wanting. What it actually does, and this is coming through very clearly, is make you more vivid to them. There is something about your energy, your perspective, the way you are in the world, at exactly the stage of life you are in right now, that this person finds genuinely rare, not in comparison to other people their own age, rare in comparison to anyone they have ever been around. You bring something that their experience has not given them access to before. That is not about age. That is about who you specifically are. Let me tell you what the obsession actually looks like from the inside, because this person would not use that word about themselves. They are too composed, too self-aware, too privately proud to call it what it is. But what is happening meets every definition. They check. Whatever form of access they have to information about you, they use it. Not frantically, not in a way that would make them uncomfortable to admit, but consistently. There is a regularity to it, a returning, because each time they check, there is a small relief, a grounding, a brief satisfaction before the wanting starts again. They replay the last meeting, specific moments, specific exchanges. There is at least one thing you said that they have thought about more than they would ever tell you. Something that revealed a layer of you they were not expecting, and that landed somewhere they cannot reach to remove it. They have thought about the next time, what it would look like, what they would say differently, whether there is a version of the next meeting where they let themselves be less careful, less managed, more honest about the weight of what they have been carrying, and they have thought about what it would mean to actually pursue this, not recklessly. This person does not do anything recklessly, but seriously. They have run the scenarios. They have imagined the complications. They have sat with the version of the future where they say nothing and the version where they say something. And they have noticed that the version where they say nothing feels like a loss they are not willing to accept. That is significant. For someone like this, choosing the discomfort of vulnerability over the safety of silence is not a small thing. It means the feeling has crossed a threshold. It means it has become more real to them than their own caution. Now I want to speak to what is going to happen, because this is not a story that stays in the private interior forever. The energy around this is moving toward expression, toward action. The question is not whether something shifts between you. The question is when and in what form. For some of you, the shift is going to come as contact. They are going to create a reason to be in your orbit again. And it is going to feel natural and low pressure on the surface. They are too intelligent to be obvious about it, but you are going to feel underneath it that the reason is that you are what they are engineering the proximity for. For others, it is going to come as a conversation that starts in one place and ends somewhere else entirely, where something slips past the managed version of themselves and you get a glimpse of what is actually underneath. Pay attention in those moments. What gets revealed when someone's filter drops, even for a second, is more honest than anything they have prepared to say. And for some of you, and this is specific, stay with me, there has already been a signal that you may have not let yourself fully read, something they said or did that was small enough to be deniable, but that your body registered as significant. Go back to that. Do not let your mind talk you out of what your instincts already understood. I want to close by saying something about what this connection is actually about, because I think sometimes when there is an age difference, when the gap is significant, people reduce the connection to the gap. They make it the whole story. And the gap is not the whole story here. What the gap does in the best versions of these connections is bring two people together who carry completely different kinds of knowledge, different experiences of being alive, different ways of understanding the world that do not cancel each other out, but expand each other. And what gets created in that space between the two ways of knowing, that is where something genuinely rare lives. That is what is possible here. Not despite the age difference. Through it, you are not imagining what you felt in that last meeting. You are not projecting onto someone who is indifferent. The obsession is real. The pull is real. And the only thing standing between where you are now and where this goes is two people finding the courage to stop managing what they feel and start being honest about it. One of you is going to go first. Spirit is showing me it is closer than either of you thinks. If this landed for you, if you felt the meeting I was describing somewhere before I even finished the first sentence, drop the word meeting in the comments. I will see it and I will know it reached you. New readings come through every day on this channel. Subscribe so the message that belongs to you does not pass you by. I will see you in the next one. Stop making the gap the whole story. It was never the whole story.